Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to your weekly messages for July 2nd to 8th of 2019. And let's see, I don't know, I'm just gonna roll with it today, pull some oracle cards. I have a couple tarot decks. We'll see where this takes us. And I also want to let you know, if you are interested in love and relationship readings, those just came out on Patreon, and I want to let you know if there's a month to get them, I would do it this month, because not only do you get the July readings, but you also get the second half of 2019 love and relationship overview, so you get double the amount of readings this month. So if that interests you, check out the link in my bio. And there's absolutely nothing wrong if you just want to do it for this month and then cancel your subscription. That's totally okay. I understand that not everyone can commit to it, so that's completely okay. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to pull a Miracles Now card. I love my food loves me. So really paying attention to what you're filling your body with, what your intention is, because that also matters when it comes to food. Is like, what is your intention for that food when it comes to your habits and what you're doing every day. So just pay close attention to how you feel. That's what I'm getting from this card. Is it's not about there being one right choice. Every body is different. Every body responds to different diets differently. So try not to get too fixated on that necessarily unless you need to. Instead, just focus on the feeling and your intention around food. And I'm getting that'll boost your energy this week. I don't know if I've used this deck for you guys yet, but we're about to. So then we also have fog. This completely makes sense as we enter Mercury retrograde. Having that fog card come up, you might find that communication's a little bit wonky. You might find that things aren't as crisp and clear as they normally are. That's okay. You kind of need this fogginess, this contrast in order to get super grounded and super clear. So don't knock it that hard. Just kind of roll with it, and you can laugh at it. Like if there's something that's a really blatant miscommunication, just kind of laugh it off. Humor can be really helpful for that. So don't expect anything to be clearly defined or crisp and cut. I think that this is going to be a week where you're going to need to be a little bit more patient than usual. And then this is the Affirmators At Work deck. So this is going to be for any projects, any work, any profession, maybe business. So think about things in terms of that. This can apply to you however. But we have faith. Ooh, good one. I know in my heart that everything will turn out fine, better than fine, awesome. And then that's scratched out. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm willing to have faith and trust that anything that isn't awesome will eventually lead to something that is. But I'm ready for awesome whenever you are, universe. Y'all hear me? Awesome. So this is one of the big things that people also get tripped up on is like if they missed out on an opportunity. I really don't see things that way. If you got rejected or you didn't get that job, your task at that point becomes having faith that the universe only trades up. It's only going to get better and better. It's only going to get more aligned with you. It's not something where you're being punished or you screwed everything up. It's not like that. This is having faith that things are working for you so long as your intentions are really clear. That's the important piece. So just have faith that that's going to be the case. In anything professionally, work-wise, that's a good perspective to have. And if you're in a jacked up situation right now, then hopefully that will lead to something better. Just make sure you're actively manifesting, not just being passive about that. And then I'm going to pull some of these tarot cards and see what exactly this week has in store for everybody. I've got the Page of Wands, evaluation, starting off Mercury retrograde, right? This is the exact energy that you want. It's just re-evaluation, redoing, revising, editing. That's the primary thing that you're going to want to do during this transit. And that's what the Page of Wands is here to support you with. So I think there's a lot of going through things with a fine-tooth comb. This is the time to do it. Review your applications, edit your resume, do all of that stuff. You might be surprised by what you can accomplish over this period of time, just in terms of revising and decluttering. That's how you want to use this for yourself with whatever it is. And then we also have the Five of Wands. You might feel like there's some, not combative energy, but it's that friction, that not being, or it helps you gain traction, right? The friction, the rough edges rubbing against each other, you know, that experience is what can help propel you forward. It's just uncomfortable in the moment. And so that's why a lot of people dislike the Five of Wands. But remember that that conflict is going to lead you to greater results. So try to roll with it this week and just know that any friction is helping you. Side note, for anyone who's dealing with something that feels really uncomfortable, or like it's outside of your comfort zone, or it's something that is really exhausting, please remember that in order to be really well versed and have that experience, you're going to be able to look back on that as like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I did make it through it. I was able to get what I needed out of that situation, even if it was uncomfortable. Like dealing with financial issues, I know it can be really scary even to like open your bank account or go talk to somebody about finances, or going to therapy, or any number of things. But if you're doing that, if you're confronting the things you're scared of, then you're going to be able to move through things a lot faster. So don't be afraid of any challenges that you're experiencing right now. It's here to teach you about more, and then you're going to have that wisdom to carry with you so things can just roll off your back in the future. And then we have the Temperance card. This is about balance and equilibrium. Maybe you have swung a little bit too far on one side of the extreme in some area of your life. That's okay, it happens. You know, there's no reason to beat yourself up about it. But you might find that it's depleting your energy, or that you don't feel like your whole self, or that something else might be just not feeling quite right. I would say look at where you feel out of balance, or where you feel like you're kind of dipping into the extremes, and that can help you figure out what's off. And then you can adjust from there. And then we also have Six of Cups. This is a soulmate card. This is also like divine relationships, or divinely appointed relationships. The right people, the right places, the right timing, the right connections. That's what the Six of Cups is showing me here. But then there's also, some of you, this is going to come up as more healing old wounds, because this is a nostalgia card. So you might be going through and backtracking with all of this stuff from your past. Not everything, but certain things that might be coming up right now. So if you are having memories, or if something feels like you're extra introspective and extra mindful and aware of what has gone on previously and maybe how you would do it differently, that's not a bad thing to walk through. Just know that the experiences are what have put you here, and you needed to learn and grow. This is kind of a weird spread, if I'm being totally honest, but let's see what else is coming up. The Fool. So this is all making space for a new experience, a new journey, a new beginning, a fresh start. all of this is in service of whatever it is that you're asking for. Remember, God's kind of a yes man, like, yes, okay, I'll give that to you for good and bad. That's why you want to put a harness on your mind. But the primary thing here is that you always have the opportunity to have a fresh start. It's not something that's awarded to certain people. It's like you can always start to initiate things and do things differently. So that's what's coming up here. I feel like this is missing something, though. It's kind of frustrating me. Do I want to use a clarifier deck? Yeah, let's clarify some stuff. And then I'm going to pull more oracle cards, and then we'll do a 3-card pick. So we have Ace of Stars, Ace of Pentacles. This goes along with the Fool. This is that fresh beginning, that new seed being planted. That's what the Ace of Pentacles or Ace of Stars is about. So there easily could be something fresh, right? And I think a lot of people are generally trying to start new things, right? That's a very blanket statement, and this is a general weekly reading. But if there's been like a project that's looming or that you kind of want to start dabbling in, this is a perfectly fine time. Don't use Mercury retrograde as an excuse to not experiment. This is actually a good time to experiment. Try it out. You don't need to publish it to the world. You don't need to shout it from the rooftops or carve anything into stone. But you can experiment. You can try it out. You can dabble. And feel things out. See, is it in alignment with you? Is this working for you? Is this not working for you? Go through and edit, check in, see if it's working. And then we also have the 9 of Stars. I think you've already come really far. So you can kind of enjoy, stop and smell the roses, enjoy yourself. Pause for a moment. You don't always have to rush towards the next goal necessarily. You know, that it's something where you can pause and take a break, just kind of enjoy the work that you've put in. That's a perfectly acceptable strategy at this time. So slow down just a little bit, because there's a lot of friction. That's why you have these introspective cards coming up, like the Page of Wands and the Fool, just being willing to experiment and dabble, try new things without doing anything concrete. You're just going to want to go through, see where you're out of balance, where you're feeling things aren't quite right, and show some appreciation for all the work you've done. It's like if you're working really hard, or if you're busy healing, or if you're trying to move out of a situation, you know, that's a lot of work. So just give yourself a pat on the back. And then we also have the 4 of Cups. Be aware of what you're saying yes and no to. That's also a good strategy this week, especially because the Fog card is coming up. You have the mindfulness around what you're saying yes to. Because if you say yes to something, remember, you're basically giving the universe permission to send more of that thing. So that's why you want to check in. What are you saying yes to? Do you actually want to do that favor for that person? Do you actually want to go to that party? Do you actually want to commit to that? These are the types of questions worth asking this week, and just checking in. What is the desire that's underneath that? And then we have 6 of Knives, 6 of Swords. So, for this card, I'm just getting that you can trust things are going to smooth out. If you're feeling like things are unstable, if you're feeling like they're uncertain, they're going to get to a place where it's no longer feeling so discombobulating. It's going to ground out and smooth itself over. So try not to get too wrapped up in the details right this moment. Know that it's going to pass and it's going to shift. All right, now let's pull some Sovereign Oracle cards. I feel like this deck has been in its box for a while, even though I may have just used it. Okay, so let's see. For those of you that are new or who haven't watched my videos before, this deck has one word and then 3 phrases that go along with it. So just pay attention to what jumps out at you. Container. Be intentional about what or who you wish to show up in the space you have provided. Set the energy for the endeavor up front. Hold space for spirit and trust. Okay, so this is about what containers are you using, right? So some of you might be using like a literal manifestation jar or container. Maybe you have a God box. Maybe you have, I mean, any number of things. I've been kind of using my podcast as a container for intentions. If you guys don't know, I have a podcast, and on Wednesdays I've been taking prayer requests and then just holding space for people to get the healing, the opportunities they need, all of that good stuff. So that's also considered a container because I'm holding space for people to get their needs met. The link is in the description box if you're interested, but that's the same idea, is I'm holding space, I'm creating a container for whatever it is that people are needing. So you can use this in your own life as well in a lot of different ways. Just be intentional about it. And then we also have integrity. Show consistency in your values and behaviors. A fall is inevitable. Sometimes land softly. Seek your own integration. This is what I was talking about with trial and error. You're like, give yourself permission to screw up, because that's going to make things a lot easier. And then you can know for certain whether or not something is right for you. If you're so afraid of messing up or doing something wrong, and then you're going to stay complacent. Just quit pondering and start making attempts. Just act from a space of alignment with whatever it is you're asking for or wanting. And then we have gifts. What you innately have does not require permission to use. Share your magic in ways that feel good. Profit from your gifts or don't. Either way, you're worthy. Okay, beautiful. Love that message, especially the one about permission. So like if you're wondering like, is this a good idea? Remember, you don't need permission. You can just try it out. Okay, and then we have focus. Make a choice and take the appropriate next action. What you desire is worth your attention. Remove distraction. Put your intention into motion with thought and aligned effort. Remember, it's okay to build. I know that like Mercury retrograde spooks everybody. It doesn't need to. You can still build. You can still remember that revising and editing is a part of the process. Things are going to smooth out. Your job is to have faith, practice, and make decisions that are aligned with your desires. Okay? Now let's do a 3-card pick. So you're welcome to pick a card, any card. You can ask for clarity, you can ask a specific question, whatever it is that feels good to you. Okay. Card number 1, we have the Tower. Okay, so here's the deal with this card. So you see all of this is being burned. But down here, there's all these itty bitty, I don't know if this is focusing, all of these tiny sprouts that are in the ground. And so I'm seeing that that's kind of the rebirth process that you're going through. You have to allow things to fall away. And that's kind of like the fertilizer for whatever it is that you're recreating or building. So don't fear this experience. It's something where you have to create that space or that container for the nutrients that you need for the next endeavor. Okay, the next relationship, the next job, the next opportunity, the next whatever. Card number 2, we have the 9 of Shells. Make a wish. And this is wishes fulfilled, dreams coming true. This is everything's working out. You are capable of getting what you ask for. Your job is to show up. Your job is to start taking action. Trust that your efforts are going to be met with whatever it is you're asking for. So have a little faith with this. Ask for what you want. Set your intention. Remember, a closed mouth won't get fed. If you could ask for anything, what would it be? And then you have to show up and do all of the other work. All right. And then card number 3, we have mindfulness. Maybe practice some meditation this week. See how that works for you if you're able to practice clearing your mind. And remember, that's uncomfortable to do. Clearing your mind and trying to sit in silence, it's not supposed to be comfortable. It's not supposed to be easy unless you're actively practicing often. So this card is just reminding you to try that out, make some attempts, figure out how you can get yourself grounded and present, and that is going to be what supports you and helps move things along. So the more mindful, the better. Just it's okay for you to go slow. Like I was saying earlier, it's okay to stop and smell the roses. That's exactly what's going on here. Be present with where you are now, and that's going to be the place where you can get grounded, and then everything else can open up. But try to find some acceptance with your current position, and then open yourself up to, well, this is what I'd like to introduce moving forward, or this is what I'm wanting for my future, or whatever. Maybe you have some specific visualizations that you're doing, but the bottom line is that the mindfulness card is a reflection of being grounded now. All right, my friends, I feel like this energy is so funky. I'm not surprised, but it's super, super funky. So don't forget, check out my Instagram at Onyx Healing. The handle is over here. And I hope you've enjoyed the July readings. Good luck with everything. If you need to work with me one-on-one, you're more than welcome to book a session. All of the links are in the description box. All of the decks that I've used today are in the description box. And until next time, have a good one, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.